Alrighty, today's our first day of blowout at Lakeside Golf Club. We got off to a bit of a rough start with our compressor being a little low on oil and batteries were dead, so the service company had to come out and service it. You know how that takes, about 4 hours of waiting. But anyways, we're off like a herd of turtles here. Anyways, blowout at Lakeside is a little different than most courses because we have a lot of blind corners where it does take two people, and normally what we do is we have two teams of two guys each. So myself and Jason, my mentor, are our team, and then Amy and Brandon, our team. Right now we're working on the back nine. We're on number 10, and Amy and Brandon are number 1. We do a two-person team, so we use walkie-talkies back and forth. One person is out by the heads watching the heads, and then the other person is at the satellite control, which is me. At Lakeside we're in a bit of a transition period. We're upgrading all our old Network 8000 Toro satellites, we are a Toro system, to the new style satellites. So number 10 is one of the ones that has a new satellite, so I'll show you how to do that. Normally in the old ones we run a triac system, but on here we actually do the toggle switches underneath to rip through the stations. As you can see, all the numbered toggle switches incorporate the number, and then the number incorporates with the station. The nice thing is we print off a list of these for each satellite, so the guy out in the field can see what stations are running. So what you do is first you go to this main switch, the comm switch, and you switch it up to the 24 vac, and then that's what operates all of these toggle switches. As you can see, we're running our fence line right now, so I was just told to switch from 27 to 28, so I switched 27 down and then 28. As you can see, number 28 is a 10 perimeter, 150 yards and 120 yards. It's two 650 heads, and it's hard to see, but they're running down there. Jason's out there with his walkie-talkie and checking everything out, and he just lets me know what's going on the radio. So that's just a little quick clip of our first day of blowout with the new satellites, and how we blow out with our new satellites and the blowout style we do. Obviously every course is different, but this is what we've done since I started here, and it seems to work out. Alrighty, good afternoon. This is our 2019 blowout at Lakeside Golf Club. First off, just a little explanation what blowout is. Basically for blowout, you take a giant compressor and you shove air down all your pipes and through all your heads and quick couplers and whatnot, to get all the water out of there so it doesn't freeze over the winter, to preserve them for the winter for next season. Glad we got that out of the way. Just thought I'd mention that for some of you people that don't know what blowout is. Quick little blurb on what it is. Anyways, this is how we do blowout here at Lakeside Golf Club. So first things first is we have 4 people doing blowout currently, 2 teams of 2. One team takes the front 9, one team takes the back 9. What the 2 people are for is, so first position is what I'm doing right now, is the operator. So he sits back at the satellite and changes the station as needed, as when the spotter tells me on this radio. So my spotter right now is Jason Jorgensen, which is also my mentor. He's on the other end of the radio, and he's actually around the corner around these houses, because we're running fence lines right now. But yeah, that's what we have 2 people for, just because we have a lot of blind corners, and we are actually open during blowout, although there's not a whole lot of golfers, as you can see, pretty empty. But we don't want to soak anybody, so that wouldn't be too much fun on a 7-degree day. Anyways, just thought give you some information on blowout first. We run a 1600 compressor. We do rent it for 2.5 days. Usually takes us about 2 days to blow out. That extra half day is what's called an insurance day. Sorry, I'm just going to switch stations. I'll get into that here in 1 second. Anyways, That last day is what we call an insurance day. We just quickly run through all the satellites, make sure everything's misting, and hit all the quick couplers one last time. So for blowout, basically how we run our blowout is a little different than how you would run their sprinklers actually, because we're cruising through stations pretty fast and hopping all over the place. We don't use the phase shield at all. We actually run the toggle switches underneath. So how you run the toggle switches is, you can zoom in here. It's our COM switch. Normally it's switched all the way to the bottom, but we switch it all the way up to the 24 vac, and that allows us to utilize all of these switches. So this is actually a, I think it's a 48 station satellite. Yeah, 48 station satellite. So this is one of our bigger new ones. We have 4 new ones, and then the other 10 are the old Network 8000s, which are 30 years older, which is fun to work with. We're in the middle of upgrading our system, so that's kind of why we got the odd number of new ones and old ones. Anyways, we're in the process of that. I'll give you a video clip on the operating the old ones too, because that's a completely different way to do it. But for these new ones, the toggle switches work the best. How we do it is the spotter has this list out with him while he's out on the course over there or anywhere, and then he can allow to check off which stations have been ran and which haven't, and he just allows me or lets me know over the satellite, or sorry, over the walkie-talkie. That way we can ensure every single head is blowing clear and stuff like that. So on our first day, it's mostly about just about getting that initial water out, getting the mist going, you know, typical blowout stuff. Get all that water out, get it misting pretty good for about 30 seconds before we move on to the next station. So what happens is, once it usually mists for about 30 seconds, Jason will then radio me, tell me to switch to the next station, whatever that may be. Currently we're running, I believe it is station 36. So you can see how 37. Right there is 37. You just asked for 37. So what I'll do, switching stations, switch down 36, you see the green light's off, and then engage 37, which is the toggle switch all the way to the top, and the green light under 37 is illuminated. And if any heads aren't running, I will know as the operator, because Jason can take care of them out there. He does have a flag key on hand. Sometimes we do get airlock because they haven't been ran in a while. We haven't ran irrigation in about 3 weeks, especially our fence lines, which don't get ran as much as the fairways or greens or tees, obviously. So to take care of an airlock, you normally take the isolation tool and tap it on the head of the top of the head, and that releases the airlock. Usually the operator's the better job, because you don't get to deal with all the stinky water that's been sitting in the pipes for 3 weeks. But yeah, that's just the quick way of showing you how we run a blowout on our new satellites. Sorry, one sec. What was that, Jay?
38.
All right, just gonna switch this to 38. Same process as the last one. Switch down 37, up to 38, green light illuminated. And that's how we do blowout on our new style of satellites. I'll give you a quick little clip on the old style as well. Alrighty, so now I'm on the other side of the blowout procedure. I'm now the spotter. Jason's up there running the satellite. And what I'm doing is watching to see if the heads pop up. You can see this one's getting blown out. Still has some water in it. What I'm also doing is going through the stations, marking what type it is, how many heads are on that station, and if the head, like this DT50, has a nozzle, I'm marking the nozzle. This one has a red one. They're all supposed to be red, so if any are different, I'll mark it down, nozzle change. I also have this sheet right here, satellite 1.12, that matches the satellite up there, so we can incorporate what heads and if we are in sync or not, all over the radio. Alrighty, so there's our old Network 8000 satellites. I'm going to show you how to run through the blowout procedure and what system we use for when we're blowing out. Alrighty, as you can see, I have the front face off and the dashboard open. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the toggle switch off, because we're going to be running a triax program. You can see it's in auto central. So I'll hit the down button, down to water, then down to review, and then over to run, and then down one more time to the screen. I'll use the knob to change it over to triax here. And then I'll hit over. This first number is your station. That's how many amps you run. So those are the two big important things. Now I'm going to start on 31.
You got something running yet?
I'm going to start on 31. And I scroll with the knob to 31. And then I hit the toggle switch on, and that should run. Yeah, 31 should be running. And then unfortunately there's a hill in the way, but Jason, my partner's over there on the other end of the radio watching. So that's how we run through our blowout procedure. So that's how we run out through our blowout procedure on these older Network 8000s, which we have 10 of left on the course to replace. And then if I wanted to go switch to another station, I'd hit toggle switch off, and then scroll the knob to whatever station I wanted. All right, thank you. Alrighty, so today's our second day of blowout. We're back going through all the heads again, just the last once over. And this is typically what your head should look like right before you are done blowing them out. You want them blowing almost clear, no water, mostly just some vapor moisture left in the pipe.